5 days disappeared. James Wharton, a 30-year-old former soldier, recalls returning to his flat in South London at 11 p.m. on a Sunday night in early March. He hadn't eaten or slept since Wednesday. In the 5 intervening days, he had visited numerous different apartments, checked in and out of a hotel room, partied with dozens of people, had sex, and smoked crystal meth religiously. One man he met during this 5-day blur had been doing the same for double the time. He won't have been exaggerating, Wharton tells me now. He looked like he'd been up for 10 days. On Monday, Wharton went straight to his GP. He had suffered a massive relapse while recovering from his addiction to chemsex group sex parties enhanced by drugs. Crystal meth lets you really dig in. To use an army term, I meet Wharton on a very different Monday morning 6 months after that lost long weekend. Sipping a flat white in a sleek cafe workspace in Holborn, HES, a stroll away from his office in the city, where he works as a PR. He left the army in 2013 after 10 years, having left school and home at 16. Wharton left school at 16 to join the army. Photo bite back with his stubble, white t-shirt and tortoise shell glasses. He now looks like any other young media professional. But HES surfacing from 2 years in the chemsex world, where he disappeared to every weekend, sometimes for 72 hours straight. Back then, this time on a Monday would have been like a double-decker bus smashing through his life, and that's if he made it into work at all. Sometimes he'd still be partying into the early hours of a Tuesday morning. The drugs allow your body to go without sleep. Crystal meth lets you really dig in, to use an army expression, Wharton says. Riley. Wharton now works as a PR in London. Photo James Wharton, mainly experienced by gay and bisexual men. Chemsex commonly involves snorting the stimulant methadone, taking shots the euphoric drug GBL mixed with a soft drink, and smoking the amphetamine crystal meth. These drugs make you HNH high and horny, a shorthand on dating apps that facilitate the scene. Ironically, they also inhibit erections, so Viagra is added to the mix. No one, sighs Wharton, orgasms. He describes it as a soulless and mechanical process. Can you imagine having sex with somebody and then catching them texting at the same time? This is the real consequence of Section 28. Approximately 3,000 men who go to Soho's 5016 Street Sexual Health Clinic each month are using chems, though it's hard to quantify how many people regularly have chemsex in the UK. Chemsex environments can be fun and controlled. They can also be unsafe and highly addictive. Participants congregate in each other's flats, chat, chill out, have sex and top up the drugs. GBL can only be taken in tiny doses without being fatal, so revelers set timers on the phones to space out the shots. GBL is known as the date rape drug. It looks like water, and a small amount can wipe your memory. Like some of his peers, Wharton was raped while passed out from the drug. He had been asleep for 6 or so hours, and woke up to someone having sex with him. That was the worst point, without a doubt, rock bottom, he tells me. But it didn't stop me from returning to those activities again. There is a chemsex-related death every 12 days in London from usually accidental GBL overdoses. A problem that Wharton compares to the AIDS epidemic in a book HES written about his experiences, Something for the Weekend. Wharton has written a book about his experiences. Photo bite back Wharton's first encounter with the drug, at a gathering he was taken to buy a date a couple of years ago, had him hooked. I loved it and I wanted more immediately, he recalls. For then on, he would take it every weekend, and found doctors, teachers, lawyers, parliamentary researchers, journalists and city workers all doing the same thing. He describes regular participants as the London gay elite. Chemsex was the most traumatic chapter of my life. Topics of conversation bounce from things like Lady Gaga's current single to Donald Trump. Wharton boggles. You'd see people talking about the general election, to why is Britney Spears the worst diva of them all. Eventually, he found himself addicted to the whole chemsex culture. It's not one single person, it's not one single drug, it's just all of it, he says. Wharton was in the household cavalry alongside Prince Harry. Photos bite back and James Wharton. Wharton feels the stigma attached to chemsex is stopping people practicing it safely, or being able to stop. HE's found a support network through gay communal advice services, drop-ins and workshops. Not everyone has that access, or feels confident coming forward. This is the real consequence of Section 28, says Wharton, who left school in 2003, the year this legislation against promoting homosexuality was repealed. Who teaches gay men how to have sex because the birds and the bees chat your mum gives you is wholly irrelevant. Wharton was the first openly gay soldier to appear in the Military and House magazine. Photo courtesy of Biteback. Wharton only learned that condoms are needed in gay sex when he first went to a gay bar at 18. He was brought up in Wrexham, North Wales by working-class parents, and described himself as a somewhat geeky gay prior to his chemsex days. After 4 years together, he and his long-term partner had a civil partnership. In 2010 they lived in a little cottage in Windsor with 2 dogs. The breakup in 2014 launched him into London life as a single man. As an openly gay soldier, Wharton was also an army poster boy. He appeared in his uniform on the cover of gay magazine Attitude. He served in the household cavalry with Prince Harry, who once defended him from homophobic abuse, and spent 7 months in Iraq. In 2012, Wharton appeared with his then civil partner in Attitude magazine. Photo courtesy of Biteback. A large Union Jack shield tattoo covering his left bicep pokes out from his t-shirt, a physical reminder of his time at war on his now much leaner frame. He had it done the day he returned from Iraq. Yet even including war, Wharton calls chemsex the most traumatic chapter of his life. Iraq was absolutely Ronseal. It did exactly what it said on the tin, he says. It was going to be a bit shit, and then I was coming home. But with chemsex, you don't know what's going to happen next. When I did my divorce, I had support around me. When I did the army, I had a lot of support. Chemsex was like 1,000,000 miles an hour for 47 hours, then on the 48th hour it was me on my own, in the back of an Uber, thinking where did it all go wrong, and that's traumatic. Something for the Weekend. Life in the Chemsex Underworld by James Wharton is published by Biteback.